The end of the year is coming all too quickly, but it's the start of a new chapter, isn't it? The chance to press reset, to rethink, and to recalibrate the direction of your life. I've always said that life responds to your philosophy, not your emotions or your feelings, but the set of ideas you've decided to adopt and live by. Think about it. How often do we drift through days, weeks, and even years carrying the same habits, the same thoughts, and the same excuses that have kept us stuck? What if this year you decided to rewrite that script? You see, every successful transformation starts with a decision to think differently, to act intentionally, and to live boldly. Success, after all, is not something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. And the beauty of this life is that we get to become the author of our own story. We get to decide if this is the year we grow stronger, more focused, and more determined to reach for what's possible. But here's the key. Wishing for change doesn't bring change. It takes a set of principles, a guide to lead you, and consistent action to anchor you in the process. That's where these 10 rules come in. They're not abstract ideas or vague aspirations. They're tools that you can use starting today to transform not just this year, but your entire life. Are you ready to embrace the challenge? Not just to hear the rules, but to apply them? Because nothing works until you work it. Rule number 1, take full responsibility for your life. This is where it all begins. Responsibility is the foundation of a life well lived. It's the starting point for every breakthrough and every transformation. Tell me, who's in charge of your life? Who's making the decisions? Now, it's tempting to point fingers, isn't it? The economy, the government, your upbringing, your circumstances. It's easy to blame something or someone else. But here's the truth. Until you take full responsibility, nothing will change. Responsibility means recognizing that you, and only you, have the power to change your direction. It means owning your mistakes, your failures, and even the things that weren't entirely your fault. Why? Because when you take responsibility, you take control. Think about it. If someone or something else is responsible for your situation, then they have the power, not you. But when you say, it's up to me, you regain the reins of your life. Years ago, I met a man who was struggling financially. He told me about all the reasons he couldn't get ahead. His boss didn't like him. His industry was tough, and he wasn't born into wealth. He had every excuse lined up. But I asked him a simple question. What are you doing about it? He looked at me, puzzled. What do you mean? I said, what steps are you taking to improve your skills, to add value, to create opportunities for yourself? That conversation changed his life. He realized that waiting for someone else to fix his situation wasn't the answer. When you take responsibility, you shift from being a victim to being a creator. Instead of waiting for things to happen, you start making things happen. And here's the magic. Responsibility is empowering. When you embrace it, you stop wasting energy on blame and start investing it in solutions. Responsibility isn't always comfortable. It requires honesty, a hard look in the mirror. It means admitting where you've fallen short, where you've let yourself down. And that's not easy, is it? But it's necessary. Because when you take ownership of your life, you also take ownership of your potential. You start asking, what's possible for me? What can I achieve if I put my heart, mind, and effort into it? So, here's the challenge. Starting today, refuse to make excuses. Refuse to blame circumstances, other people, or even bad luck. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do? What's within my control? How can I take the next step forward? Because that's how change begins. Not with what others do, but with what you do. Remember this, you can't control everything, but you can always control how you respond. And your response determines the outcome. Take full responsibility, and you'll be amazed at how much power you truly have. Rule number 2, set clear goals and write them down. If responsibility is the foundation, then goals are the map. A map gives you direction, helps you navigate challenges, and ensures you don't wander aimlessly through life. Without clear goals, you're like a ship without a sail, drifting, hoping, wishing. But life doesn't respond to hope. It responds to clarity and action. Ask yourself, what do you want? Not what you think you can get, not what someone else wants for you, but what do you want? The clearer you are about your desires, the stronger your focus becomes. Clarity leads to power because you can't hit a target you can't see. Years ago, I learned a simple yet profound truth. Writing your goals down is like planting a seed in the soil of your mind. When you write a goal, it transforms from a fleeting thought into a tangible commitment. It's no longer just an idea. It's a declaration. And here's what happens next. Your mind starts working on it. You begin to see opportunities, solutions, and resources that align with your goal. I met a young man at a seminar. He was full of ambition, but lacked direction. I asked him if he had written down his goals. He said, no, I just keep them in my head. I challenged him to take a piece of paper and write down 5 goals he wanted to achieve in the next year. He hesitated at first, but then he did it. A year later, he came back to me with tears in his eyes. He had achieved 4 out of the 5 goals. Why? Because the act of writing them down forced him to focus and take action. But here's the key. Goals alone won't change your life. You need a plan. Break your goals down into smaller steps. What can you do today, this week, this month, to move closer to your target? Consistency beats intensity every time. Small, steady progress adds up to big results over time. Review your goals regularly. Don't write them down once and forget about them. Keep them in front of you. Read them daily, visualize them, and remind yourself why they matter. This keeps your motivation alive and your efforts aligned. And don't be afraid to dream big. Set goals that excite you, challenge you, and even scare you a little. Because the purpose of a goal isn't just to achieve it. It's to become the person who's capable of achieving it. When you set a goal, you're saying, this is who I want to be. This is the life I want to live. So take some time today to write down your goals. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. Remember, clarity creates momentum. And momentum is what transforms a vision into reality. Rule number 3, develop discipline as your greatest ally. If goals are the map, then discipline is the engine that drives you forward. Without discipline, even the best plans and the clearest intentions fall apart. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the ability to stick with the process, even when the excitement fades, when obstacles arise, or when progress feels slow. Now, some people think discipline is about restriction or deprivation, but that's not true. Discipline is about freedom, the freedom to live the life you truly want, rather than being enslaved by bad habits or fleeting emotions. It's about saying, I choose long-term rewards over short-term comfort. How often have you let your feelings dictate your actions? I don't feel like working out today. I don't feel like working on that project. Feelings are unreliable, aren't they? They come and go. But discipline says, I act according to my commitments, not my feelings. I remember hearing a story about a young athlete who wanted to be an Olympic champion. Every day he woke up at 5 a.m. to train, rain or shine. When asked how he stayed motivated, he said, motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. You see, discipline is the habit of doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Here's a simple truth. Discipline is built, not born. No one is naturally disciplined. It's a skill you develop through practice, one small decision at a time. And the best way to build discipline is to start with small, manageable habits. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to change everything overnight. Focus on one area where you want to improve. Whatever it is, commit to it consistently. And here's the secret. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you strengthen your discipline muscle. You build trust with yourself, and that trust fuels your confidence. On the flip side, every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken that muscle. So make sure your commitments are realistic. It's better to start small and succeed than to aim too high and give up. Discipline also requires a strong why. Why are you doing what you're doing? What's the deeper reason behind your goals? When you connect your actions to a purpose that matters to you, it's easier to stay disciplined. Now we have to talk about setbacks. Discipline doesn't mean you'll never slip up. It means you don't let a setback turn into a pattern. Forgive yourself, learn from it, and get back on track. The goal is progress, not perfection. Remember, discipline isn't a punishment. It's a gift you give yourself. It's the pathway to achieving your dreams, to living a life of purpose and fulfillment. So, decide today to make discipline your ally. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how it transforms your life. Rule number 4, surround yourself with the right people. Success doesn't happen in isolation. The people you choose to surround yourself with have a profound impact on your life. They can either lift you up, inspire you, and challenge you to be your best, or they can pull you down, drain your energy, and hold you back. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Because whether you realize it or not, you're becoming like them. Their attitudes, habits, and values rub off on you. If they're focused, driven, and positive, chances are you'll adopt those qualities too. But if they're negative, lazy, or complacent, well, that influence will creep into your life as well. Mr. Schoaf used to tell me, if you want to change your life, change your circle. At first, I didn't understand what he meant. But as I looked closer at the people around me, I realized something. I was spending time with people who were comfortable being average, who made excuses, and who weren't interested in growth. And guess what? That was holding me back. Now, this doesn't mean you should cut ties with everyone in your life. but it does mean being intentional about who gets your time and energy. Seek out people who inspire you, who challenge you to think bigger and do better. These are the individuals who will push you to grow, not settle. I once worked with a young entrepreneur who was struggling to take his business to the next level. After talking with him, I realized his friends were discouraging him, telling him his ideas were too risky. He was surrounded by small thinkers, and it was affecting his confidence. I encouraged him to find a new circle, mentors, peers, and other entrepreneurs who understood his vision and believed in his potential. Within a year, his business had grown exponentially. Why? Because he surrounded himself with people who lifted him up instead of pulling him down. Now let's talk about the kinds of people to look for. First, find mentors, people who are ahead of you, who have achieved the kind of success you aspire to. Learn from their experience and let their wisdom guide you. Second, find peers who share your ambitions. There's power in growing alongside others who are on the same journey. And third, seek out those who challenge your thinking. Don't just surround yourself with people who agree with you. Find those who push you to see things from new perspectives. But we can't forget the flip side. Sometimes you need to distance yourself from toxic influences. These are the people who constantly complain, criticize, or discourage you. I know this can be hard, especially if they're longtime friends or even family. But remember, your environment shapes your destiny. Protect your mindset by limiting your exposure to negativity. And one more thing. Be the kind of person others want to be around. Bring value to your relationships. Encourage, uplift, and support those in your circle. Because relationships are a two-way street, aren't they? When you give your best, you attract the best. So, take a moment to evaluate your circle. Are the people in your life helping you grow, or are they holding you back? If they're holding you back, it's time to make some changes. Because success isn't just about what you do, it's about who you do it with. Rule number 5, master the art of consistency. Consistency might not sound glamorous, but it's the unsung hero of success. It's the small, repeated actions day after day that create extraordinary results. Think about it. A single workout won't make you fit, and one healthy meal won't transform your body. But what happens when you do it consistently over weeks, months, and years? That's where the magic is. Success, my friends, is less about intensity and more about consistency. Too often, people start with enthusiasm, but then their motivation wanes. They hit the gym for 2 weeks and stop. They work on their goals for a month and quit. Why? Because they expect instant results. But here's the truth. Great things take time. And consistency is what bridges the gap between effort and results. I remember a story about a man who wanted to chop down a massive oak tree. Each day he went out and gave it 5 swings with his axe. Just 5 swings. No more, no less. At first, it seemed like nothing was happening. But day after day, those swings added up. Eventually, that great oak came crashing down. Why? Not because of one powerful swing, but because of consistent effort. The same principle applies to every area of your life. Want to build wealth? Save and invest consistently. Want to improve your health? Exercise and eat right consistently. Want to grow your skills? Practice and learn consistently. It's not about doing it perfectly every time. It's about showing up, even when it's inconvenient, even when you don't feel like it. How do you build consistency? First, start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one habit you want to develop and focus on that. Keep it simple and manageable. Second, create a routine. Habits thrive on structure. Decide when, where, and how you'll do the activity, and stick to it. Third, track your progress. There's something powerful about seeing your streak build up. It motivates you to keep going. Celebrate the small wins. They're what keep you moving forward. But here's the thing. There will be days when you don't feel like it, when life gets in the way, or when progress feels slow. That's when consistency matters most. Remember this, doing a little is better than doing nothing. Even if you can't do it perfectly, do it anyway. Consistency is about progress, not perfection. Here's the beauty of consistency. It compounds over time. Just like compound interest in a bank account, the small actions you take today will grow into something extraordinary tomorrow. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize just how far you've come. So make a commitment to yourself. Whatever your goals are, whatever your dreams may be, decide to show up every day. No excuses, no exceptions. Because success isn't about doing something once. It's about doing it consistently. Rule number 6. Learn to manage your time wisely. Time is life's most precious resource. Unlike money, which you can lose and regain, or skills, which you can develop over time. Once a moment is gone, it's gone forever. The way you manage your time determines the life you lead. Think about it. Are you spending your time or investing it? Are you using it to build the future you want? Or are you letting it slip through your fingers? We all get the same 24 hours in a day, no more, no less. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't isn't about having more time. It's about making better use of the time they have. Time management isn't just about being busy. It's about being productive. It's about focusing on what truly matters. Don't prioritize your schedule, schedule your priorities. In other words, figure out what's most important to you and make those things the foundation of your day. Too often, people fill their time with low-value tasks or saying yes to every request. Before they know it, their day is gone and their most important goals are untouched. Here's a lesson I learned early on. The key to time management is clarity. You have to know what matters most. What are the 2 to 3 things that, if done consistently, will make the biggest difference in your life? Whatever it is, give it your prime time, your energy and focus when you're at your best. So, what are some strategies? First, plan your day the night before. Take 10 to 15 minutes to write down your top priorities for the next day. When you wake up, you won't waste time figuring out what to do. You'll already have a plan. Second, use time blocks. Set aside dedicated chunks of time to focus on specific tasks. During those blocks, eliminate distractions and give your full attention to the task at hand. You'll be amazed at how much more you can accomplish when you're fully focused. Third, learn to say no. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your priorities, you're saying no to something that does. It's okay to decline invitations or requests that don't serve your goals. Protect your time. It's your most valuable asset. And remember to take care of yourself. Rest, relaxation, and renewal aren't luxuries. They're necessities. You can't manage your time effectively if you're running on empty. schedule downtime, and protect it as fiercely as you protect your work time. So, ask yourself, how are you spending your time? Are you investing it in what truly matters, or are you letting it slip away? Time is a gift. Use it wisely. Rule number 7, cultivate a positive attitude. Your attitude is one of the most powerful tools you have. It shapes the way you see the world, how you respond to challenges, and ultimately, the quality of your life. Here's the truth. While you can't control everything that happens to you, you can always control how you respond. And that response starts with your attitude. Think about this. 2 people can face the same situation, but their outcomes can be entirely different based on their mindset. One sees obstacles as roadblocks, while the other sees them as opportunities to learn and grow. The difference isn't in the circumstances, it's in the perspective. I remember hearing a story about a shoe company that sent 2 salesmen to a remote village. One of them reported back, so it's hopeless. No one here wears shoes. The other said, it's an incredible opportunity. No one here wears shoes. Same situation, 2 entirely different attitudes. Which one do you think succeeded? You see, attitude determines your altitude. A positive attitude won't guarantee success, but a negative attitude almost always guarantees failure. Why? Because negativity blinds you to possibilities. It drains your energy and makes you a magnet for more negativity. On the other hand, a positive attitude fuels your resilience, creativity, and determination. Now, cultivating a positive attitude doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on solutions instead of problems, opportunities instead of limitations. It's about looking for the lesson in every challenge and the silver lining in every setback. Start and end each day with gratitude. Take a moment to reflect on what's going well in your life. What are you thankful for? Being grateful shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. It's hard to be negative when you're genuinely grateful. Another powerful habit is to guard your mind against negativity. Be mindful of the media you consume, the conversations you engage in, and the thoughts you entertain. If you feed your mind with negativity, that's what it will produce. But if you fill it with positivity, uplifting books, inspiring stories, and empowering affirmations, you'll cultivate a mindset of possibility and hope. But don't forget, maintaining a positive attitude requires effort, especially in tough times. It's easy to stay positive when things are going well, but real growth happens when you choose positivity in the face of adversity. Remember, storms don't last forever. The sun always comes out eventually, and your attitude will determine how you weather the storm. Here's another key point. Your attitude is contagious. When you maintain a positive outlook, you inspire and uplift those around you. You become a source of encouragement and strength, and that creates a ripple effect. Surround yourself with people who share that same positive energy, and you'll amplify each other's success. So decide today to cultivate a positive attitude. Choose to see the good, to focus on solutions, and to approach life with hope and optimism. Because when your attitude is right, your life will follow. Rule number 8, commit to lifelong learning. If there's one constant in life, it's change. The world is always evolving, and those who thrive are the ones who keep learning. Committing to lifelong learning is like sharpening your axe. It ensures that you're always ready to tackle the challenges and seize the opportunities life presents. Now, learning doesn't stop when you leave school. In fact, that's just the beginning. Formal education can make you a living, but self-education can make you a fortune. What you learn after you think you know it all is what makes the biggest difference. Mr. Schoaf would always say, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. At first, I didn't understand what he meant. But then he explained, if you improve your skills, expand your knowledge, and grow as a person, you become more valuable to your business, your relationships, and your future. So the question is, are you investing in your mind? Are you reading books, attending seminars, listening to podcasts, and seeking out mentors? Because here's the truth. The more you learn, the more you earn. Not just in money, but in wisdom, opportunities, and fulfillment. There was a man who had built a successful career, but hit a plateau. He felt stuck and couldn't figure out why. I asked him, what are you learning right now? He paused and said, I guess I haven't been learning much lately. That was the problem. He had stopped growing, and as a result, so had his success. Once he committed to reading a book a month, attending workshops, and learning new skills, his career took off again. Here's the beauty of learning. It compounds. The knowledge you gain today builds on what you learned yesterday. And over time, it creates exponential growth. But I want to emphasize this. Don't just learn for the sake of learning. Apply what you learn. Knowledge without action is useless. Now, how do you commit to lifelong learning? Start by making it a daily habit. And don't just focus on professional skills. Personal growth is equally important. Learn about health and fitness, emotional intelligence, relationships, and financial literacy. The more well-rounded your knowledge, the more equipped you'll be to handle life's challenges. Here's another tip. Learn from others. Surround yourself with people who are smarter, wiser, or more experienced than you. Ask questions, listen intently, and be open to feedback. Everyone you meet knows something you don't. Lifelong learning also requires humility. It's about recognizing that you don't know it all and being willing to start as a beginner. Don't let pride hold you back from exploring new areas or admitting what you don't know. And remember that the pace of change is faster than ever. New technologies, industries, and opportunities are emerging all the time. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. But when you commit to growth, you position yourself to thrive in any environment. So here's the challenge. Decide today to become a lifelong learner. Make it a habit to grow your mind and your skills every day. Because when you learn more, you become more. And when you become more, you can achieve more. Rule number 9. Embrace change and adaptability. Life is a series of seasons. Just when you think you figured things out, the winds shift, the landscape changes, and you find yourself facing new challenges or opportunities. That's why adaptability is such a vital skill. The ability to embrace change, not resist it, can be the difference between growth and stagnation. How do you react when change comes knocking? Do you fight it, fear it, or try to avoid it? Or do you lean into it with curiosity and courage? Here's the truth. Change is inevitable. Growth, on the other hand, is optional. I've met so many people who resist change because it's uncomfortable. They cling to the familiar, even when it's no longer serving them. But here's the irony. The only thing constant in life is change. Resisting it only prolongs the struggle. When you accept and adapt to change, you position yourself to thrive. Now, I understand that change can be daunting. It takes you out of your comfort zone and into the unknown. But that's where growth happens, in the discomfort. It's in those moments of uncertainty that you discover new strengths, new ideas, and new possibilities. Here's the key to embracing change. Focus on what you can control. You can't always control the external events in your life, but you can control your attitude, your mindset, and your actions. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this? What's the opportunity here? Another important aspect of adaptability is flexibility. Life rarely goes according to plan, and that's okay. The ability to pivot, to adjust your approach without abandoning your goals is what keeps you moving forward. Think of a tree in a storm. The trees that survive aren't the rigid ones. They're the flexible ones that bend with the wind. Well, Mr. Rohn, how do you develop adaptability? First, embrace a mindset of curiosity. Instead of fearing change, approach it with a sense of wonder. Ask questions, explore possibilities, and be open to new ways of thinking. Second, cultivate resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks. It's about seeing failure not as an end, but as a stepping stone to success. The more resilient you are, the more adaptable you become. Third, stay proactive. Don't wait for change to force your hand. Anticipate it. Keep an eye on trends in your industry, your community, or your life, and prepare for what's ahead. When you're proactive, you're not caught off guard. You're ready to respond. Sometimes the changes we fear the most are the ones that lead to the greatest growth. What if that unexpected career shift is the path to your dream job? What if that difficult breakup is the doorway to a healthier relationship? What if that failure is the seed of your greatest success? So don't fear change. Embrace it. See it as a teacher, a guide, and an opportunity to become more. Because when you adapt, you don't just survive, you thrive. Rule number 10, be grateful every day. Being grateful is the foundation of a fulfilled life. It's the lens through which we see the beauty, the blessings, and the opportunities that surround us. And yet, too often, we overlook it. We get caught up in what we don't have, what isn't working, and what we wish were different. But being grateful shifts our focus. It reminds us of what's good, of what's right, and of all the reasons we have to be thankful. Think about this. When was the last time you paused to truly appreciate what you have? Not just the big things, but the small, everyday blessings, the warmth of the sun, the kindness of a stranger, the simple joy of a good meal. Being grateful isn't about waiting for perfect conditions to be happy. It's about choosing to find joy in the present moment. I remember hearing a story about a man who had every reason to complain. He had lost his business, faced health challenges, and was going through a difficult time. But every morning he wrote down 3 things he was grateful for. At first it was hard. He struggled to find even one thing. But as he continued the practice, something incredible happened. His perspective shifted. He began to see the good in his life, and that attitude of gratitude gave him the strength to rebuild. Being grateful doesn't just change how you feel, it changes how you act. When you're grateful, you're more resilient, more optimistic, and more willing to give your best. It's hard to feel discouraged when you're focusing on what's going well. And the amazing thing is, the more you practice gratitude, the more you find to be grateful for. Now, how do you cultivate gratitude in your daily life? Start with a simple practice. Every morning or evening, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be big or extraordinary, just things that make you smile, bring you comfort, or remind you of life's blessings. Over time, this habit trains your mind to focus on the positive. Another way to practice gratitude is to express it. Tell the people in your life how much you appreciate them. Write a thank you note, give a compliment, or simply say, "I'm grateful for you." Gratitude strengthens relationships and creates a ripple effect of positivity. And I want to add this. Being grateful doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. Life can be tough, and it's okay to acknowledge your struggles. But even in the darkest times, there's always something to be thankful for. Being grateful isn't about denying reality. It's about choosing to see the light amidst the shadows. Here's a powerful thought. Being grateful turns what we have into enough. It shifts our focus from scarcity to abundance. That shift doesn't just change your mood, it changes your life. As you go through your day, look for opportunities to be grateful. Notice the beauty around you, the kindness of others, and the progress you're making. When you feel stress or frustration, pause and ask, what can I be thankful for in this moment? Because gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a choice. So decide today to practice gratitude daily. Make it a habit, a way of life. Because when you live with gratitude, you don't just transform your attitude, you transform your entire world. I want you to take a moment and reflect. Imagine yourself applying these principles, not just for a day, a week, or even a month, but for an entire year. Imagine the transformation that would take place in your life. Because these aren't just rules, they're tools. Tools that, when used consistently, can build the life you've always wanted. But here's the key. Knowledge isn't enough. You can know these principles backward and forward, but until you apply them, they're just words on a page or ideas in your mind. Action is what makes the difference. And not just action once in a while, but consistent, intentional action. I want to leave you with this thought. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who work, who try, who fail, and who get up again. It comes to those who are willing to invest in themselves, to push through discomfort, and to stay the course when things get tough. So what will you do with this moment, this year, this life? Will you let it pass by, or will you take these principles and make them your own? The choice is yours. Because at the end of the day, the life you live is the result of the actions you take or don't take. Remember, you have everything you need to succeed. The power is within you. All you have to do is decide to use it. Start today, start now, and watch how your life transforms.